Welcome back to Pentiment, the medieval murder mystery game where you play as an artist living in the 16th century in Europe during the Protestant Reformation. Previously on Pentiment, a storm flooded the village of Tassing. The baker's wife offered me her rye. I pet another cat, found an old salt mine, and found out there might be a secret treasure inside. Learned the local legend about the town's patron, St. Moritz, has pagan origins. We met Smokey, the charcoal burner, and Václav, the Romani tinker. We found out the Baron was blackmailing Prior Ferenc to do some sort of occult rituals, and Martin told me to eat shit again. But the biggest, most exciting event was the murder of Baron Lorenz Rothvogel. He was murdered at the monastery, and Brother Piero was blamed. But we don't believe that Brother Piero committed the murder, and so we have begun investigating who is the true murderer of the Baron. I have several leads to follow, but where should I start? I could talk to Lucky Steinauer. He's probably working in front of his house. The widow Kemperin lives south of here near France Bower. Prior Ferenc is usually at the scriptorium, but I won't be able to talk to him until tomorrow. Still, nothing would prevent me from talking to Mother Cecilia in the convent. But if I don't attend Brother Florian's examination of the body at the Abbey, he'll have to do it without me. Well, I think that we should go to the Abbey and see the examination of the body. Because I don't want to miss that. I think it's important to get as much information as we can about the murder itself before we start going around investigating people. Oh, right. He told me to throw a stone at the window and he would let me in. I've been thrown out of the monastery for now and I'm not supposed to be inside. But one of the brothers agrees with me that Florian, that's him, he agrees that Piero is not guilty, and so he wants to help me in my investigation. There you are. I'm glad the storm didn't delay you. Now, even though I gave instructions that I was not to be disturbed, we must work quickly. Seeing a corpse up close can be unsettling for some. I hope you're up to it. I'm not sure, but I want to help Piero. Or I can go with one of my backgrounds that I chose. I chose a background in natural sciences. I have seen many animal corpses in the wilds in various states of decay. Human death is also a part of nature. And I also studied medicine for a while in university. We saw dead bodies. I'll be fine. I'll go with that one. Seeing a dead body is different from examining one directly. Now then, you should probably take notes as we go. They might be useful later. Of course. Does that mean I need to get a pen and paper, or will they take notes in the game for me? I will begin by inspecting his anterior, starting with the face and head. No visible wounds, no blemishes, teeth in good condition, nothing unusual. Neck, shoulders, and chest are ordinary. I need to clean some blood away to examine the torso. Yes, there it is. A puncture wound between the 6th and 7th ribs. It's fairly shallow, though. I estimate it penetrated only about an inch. And it likely came from his own hand. How do you know that? Wait, he inflicted on himself? How can you tell? But that doesn't sound deep enough to have killed him. A Nuremberg inch or an Innsbruck inch? That was a question that came up before, and I'm not sure why they're bringing it up again. But okay, I'm going to say this because this is what I said when he said it. How can you tell? From the angle and depth of the strike, it is as though he were holding it in his right hand as he fell on his side. Oh, so maybe he fell on his own knife? he was trying to struggle to get the knife away from someone else, or he was holding someone else at knife point. You must know that I was not always a monk. I was a mercenary for 10 long years in Poland. My familiarity with wounds comes from my time on the battlefield. I am no true surgeon, but I am the closest Kearsarge has. If the wound was that shallow, it doesn't sound like it could have been fatal. It wasn't. It's likely incidental, received while falling on his own knife. He must have some other wound that issued forth all the blood we found him in. Then surely this must mean that Brother Piero is innocent. Who do you think killed him? Yeah, who do you think killed him? I don't know. I can't even speculate. All I can do is examine this body and hope that you can figure out the rest. Simply pointing out the implausibility of Brother Piero striking the fatal blow may not be enough to convince the Archdeacon. Brother Piero never should have picked up that knife. I'm sure the appearance of guilt never even crossed his mind. Now then, let's move on. Well, there is a sore on his sex. Oh, wow. Well, I didn't think he had any... he seems to be missing anything there. He's as smooth as a Ken doll, but okay. I guess they just decided not to show it in the game. He's got a sore, probably from the French disease. I doubt it had anything to do with his murder. The French disease, is that herpes? Or probably syphilis. Probably. I'm not familiar with it. I am familiar because I have a medical background. The disease French soldiers received in the brothels of Naples. Yes, how do you know of it? We discussed it in university. Ah yes, it's spread rapidly even north of the Alps. The treatment is dire as it involves heavy mercury consumption. Yeah, I think that's syphilis. Anyway, it seems the Baron was not the most faithful husband, not uncommon among the nobility. I would expect a monk to be more shocked by this. Well, no, I wouldn't expect him to be shocked because he said he was a mercenary for 10 years or something, right? He's probably seen a lot. I'll say nothing. Moving down. Other than a few blisters on his feet from what I assume are new shoes, there's nothing wrong with his legs. Andreas, can you help me turn him over? Of course. There's a slight irregularity in his spine, possibly from an old injury. I don't think it has anything to do with how he died, though. How could that have happened? I will use my background here. I understand the Baron enjoyed hiking in the wilderness. The most beautiful places are often the most difficult to reach. It's easy to get injured if you aren't careful, especially if you're in a truly wild and remote place. It seems like a silly thing to risk your life for, but I'm not one to talk. Whatever the reason, it didn't contribute to his death. Here it is, a rather dramatic head wound. The dark hair and the blood make it difficult to see, but it's quite bad. In my experience, I've never seen someone walk away from a head wound of this severity. How many wounds have you seen? Well, he said he had been a mercenary and seen a lot of wounds, so I'm going to go with my medical background and say I imagine the force of the impact would have to be quite great to crack the skull. Quite right, I see your medical training was not forgotten. I lack the benefit of university study, but the battlefields of Poland and Lithuania did provide an education of sorts. I'd rather be treated by someone with experience than a novice with a university education. Yeah. Why didn't you study medicine in university? Well, probably because he didn't have enough money or he wasn't high-born enough or something. I don't know. I wish I'd finished my degree. I could be of more use to you now. That's a unique dialogue option because of my background, but I'm going to go ahead and say, why didn't you study medicine? My family was too poor. Yeah, that's what I figured. Mercenary work was my way off the farm. The wound looks like it was caused by a single powerful blow from a blunt object, probably no more than 4 or 5 inches across. How can you tell? The skull is cracked in a single spot, and there's a clear impression in the skin around it. It would take extraordinary precision to hit the same spot twice unless the Baron was already dead. It's likely he didn't die immediately. How long he could have survived for? I think it probably should have been how long could he have survived for. I've seen similar injuries in battle. The victims don't last more than a few minutes, but it's an agonizing death. Even so, he couldn't have wandered far from where the blow was first struck. Oh, so maybe he wasn't murdered in the place where the body was found. He may not have been attacked in the chapter house? He was either attacked in the chapter house or someplace in the immediate area. Could he have been attacked outside the abbey? The cloister? What about the big garden? Is the church a possibility? I'll start here. Could he have been attacked outside of the abbey? No, I don't think so. With a wound like that, he would have collapsed before he got inside. And certainly someone would have seen him. Anyway, whatever killed the Baron was a blunt instrument of considerable heft. The part that impacted him was likely a little smaller than a fist. Could it have actually been a fist? Ha, no. I don't think the strongest soldier could do this with a punch unless the Baron's head were pressed to the ground. Even then, he would also see damage to his nose or forehead. Could a woman or an elderly person have done it? Anyone could have, given the right weapon and sufficient height. Whoever did this must have caught the Baron unaware. Save the small knife wound, he has no other injuries. I suppose that he was struck, drew his knife to defend himself, and fell on it before Brother Piero discovered him. He might have been kneeling down. Maybe he was in the church and kneeling down, praying, and someone came up and hit him in the head, and he staggered into the chapter house. So I believe we've discovered 2 important things. Piero didn't stab the Baron, and even if he had, that wasn't what killed him. The Baron was killed by a blow to the head from a heavy, blunt object. I'm going to say Piero didn't stab the Baron, because the most important thing is I want to clear my friend's name. Indeed, though it may take more to convince the Archdeacon of Brother Piero's innocence. Also, we know that the Baron was killed by a blow to the head from a heavy, blunt object. Now you just need to find what caused the blow and learn who struck it. Oh, there is one other item of interest. I found it in the Baron's jacket, but didn't want to open it without you. A note of some kind. I trust you to open it more carefully than I would. What does it say? Das Mädchen, das starb. Undi... I can't read under the blood smears. Mit ihr... It's something in German? The girl who died and the innocent with her. Matins, chapter. The girl who died and the innocent with her. Oh, was it a girl who was pregnant? Because they said that the Baron liked to fool around with the girls in the village. Maybe he got one of them pregnant and she died. And somebody is mad at him about it? Matins is the monastic hour corresponding to 2 a.m. It is used for the night prayer. So maybe he was meeting someone in the chapter house at 2 a.m.? The girl, what girl? And what innocent? One of the nuns? Someone from the village? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to say someone from the village, because that was my first thought. That could be anyone, and I'm not as familiar with the families as you are. Can you tell who wrote it? It's definitely someone with a great deal of experience as a scribe, but it can't be Idoc or Guy. Someone with an extremely refined hand. This was done without any guides. I don't think they're French or Flemish. It would be some form of Bastarda script. And I found out, because the Bastard script was mentioned in an earlier episode, and I looked it up and I found out that basically just means it was a kind of a combination of formal and informal lettering. Like if you were going to write something by hand and you were using a little bit of cursive and a little bit of printing kind of mixed together, I guess. It's kind of like that. I can use my Craftsman background or my background experience in languages with French, and Flemish. But I think I'm just going to say it can't be Idoc or Guy, because I would know because I've worked with them and I know what their script looks like, I guess. Someone with an extremely refined hand. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll go with that one. As good as Idoc and Guy are, I don't think they could replicate this. Oh, wow, so it's somebody even better at calligraphy than they are, and they have lots of experience. They're monks that worked in the scriptorium with me. What, really? If not them, who? I intend to find out. I wish you good luck finding the answer. Now, I'm sorry to rush you, but I must ask you to leave. Every minute you stay here is additional Were you expecting someone? Or say nothing. I'll say nothing. Brother Florian, could you open up? It's Werner Stolz, the physician from Tassing. Yes, I'm in the middle of something. Could you return after supper? I'm afraid it can't wait. Father Gurneau asked me to examine the Baron's body. Alright, just give me a moment. Andreas, I need you to hide yourself. Of course. Why? From Werner? I don't care if he knows I'm here. Yeah, but then maybe he'll get in trouble. Florian. I'll say why. You're not supposed to be in the Abbey until tomorrow, remember? Right, but why does it matter if Werner knows I'm here? Get behind the cupboard. Okay, alright, I'll hide. I'm gonna trust Florian. Ah, Dr. Stoll, sorry to keep you waiting. Now, what did you need? The abbot wanted me to examine the Baron's body before his wife arrives. It seems unnecessary at this point, as I've just completed my own examination. Well then, what's the harm in letting me take a look? Dr. Stolz, with all respect, I've finished. The cause of death is clear. If you had arrived an hour ago, I would have no problem with your assistance. Assistance? I'm a university-trained physician. I can examine a corpse on my own without the help of a battlefield sawbones. Step out to confront Werner. Remain hidden. I'll remain hidden. Regardless of your opinions regarding my abilities, the examination is finished. If you insist on inspecting the body anyway, I must insist that the abbot tells me himself. What? Making me bring the abbot here is a waste of time. So is performing an examination on this corpse immediately after one was just completed. Idiotic. I'll return with Father Gurneau presently. That was close. Now quickly leave through the cloister before they return. Of course, thank you, Brother Florian. Think nothing of it. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then... One day, 19 hours remain, it says. I should find someone to eat with. I can't get that note out of my head. The girl who died and the innocent with her. What could it mean and who wrote it? Alright, let's check our quest journal and see where we're at with this. I should find someone to share supper with. Most of the families in town are welcoming. Lady Salomea may also want to speak with me after she arrives at the Abbey's guest house. Maybe I could even visit Smokey in the forest. Why would I want to visit Smokey in the forest? The Baron's man, Miklos, has departed for Innsbruck to request the presence of the Most Reverend Jacob Estler, Archdeacon of Freising. He will be gathering evidence about the murder and interrogating those of us who might have information. I should talk with Lucky to find out what he was arguing about with the Baron. I can talk to the widow, Ottilia Kemperin, who cursed the Baron. I think she blames him for her husband's death. I need to figure out the meaning of the cipher that Ferenc wrote in the scriptorium. Yeah, I deciphered his message. And then I also found a letter in the Baron's belongings from Prior Ferenc where he was talking about performing a ritual, some kind of occult thing. And the Baron and the nun. I was able to find an entrance to the library through the crypt beneath the Abbey. Mother Cecilia reacted poorly to the Baron's appearance at the Abbey. Could she have something to do with his murder? Alright, I'm thinking that if he got someone pregnant, that Mother Cecilia might know about it. Maybe he got one of the nuns pregnant? And that's why Mother Cecilia doesn't like him. I'm right here next to the convent, so I'm going to go in and talk to Mother Cecilia. If she's in here. Hello? Hello? Oh, she's not in here. She's not out here. Maybe I can talk to her through the door here? Well, I guess I can't talk to her right now. Alright. Let's see what else we can investigate. Oh, the guest house. Oh, there's another puppy I can pet. Aww. What's his name? Firstchen? I wonder what that means. Oh, I can't talk to her. But I can talk to Lady Salomea. Oh, Master Mailer, would you care to share supper at my table? I would like to talk to you about my late husband. Of course, please lead the way. I'm afraid I have other engagements. Sure, let's talk to her and see what we can find out. Thank you, please sit. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord, amen. Amen. Oh, this is a really fancy meal. I find myself rather out of place here without the comfort of the Baron. I don't think you want his comfort, because he had a diseased comfort. Thank you for agreeing to share a meal with me, Master Mailer. Of course, the honor is mine. It's a terrible thing what happened to the Baron. I must admit I'm surprised you wished to speak with me. Well, let's give our condolences here first. It has given me the shock of my life. I am trying to find comfort where I can, in my ladies and the Lord. Select a food item to eat. Alright, I am restricted to my plate, so I will eat the quail. Not that there is much comfort to be found in these cold and dreary alpine towns. Lorenz and I had meant to take a tour of them before returning home to Worms, but, well, return we shall. I am sorry for your loss, my lady. This sorrow is just the first of many, I'm afraid. Are you married yourself, Master Mailer? A woman waits for me in Nuremberg. When I finish my work here, we will be wed. Do you not look forward to the responsibilities of marriage, Master Mailer? Perhaps it's no surprise you and Lorenz became fast friends. How does she know that? I imagine he saw something of himself in you. I hope I should meet a more peaceful end than he did. His lust for drink and women once afflicted him with great remorse, though such shame faded with time. Lorenz was a flawed man. His various infidelities were no secret to me, but are we not all flawed before Christ? I guess. Some more flawed than others. I loved him, as a wife should properly love her husband, but I would not say that we were friends. I only hope his appetites are not what led him to his end. I've been searching for the answer to that quandary myself. Were you and Lorenz so close that you would trouble yourself so? My motivation is personal. My mentor, Brother Piero, was found with the Baron's body, but I do not believe he killed your husband. I'm afraid I can say no more. Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell her. If not him, then who? There are many possibilities, both here at the Abbey and in town. I do not wish to speak out of turn. I'll say there are many possibilities. She seems like a pretty open, honest, down-to-earth lady. It's not going to be any surprise to her that her husband had a lot of problems, shall we say. Your husband managed to cultivate many enemies in his short time here. That does sound like Lorenz. Yeah, she knows what's what. He was a man of many opinions, and he gave them freely to all who would listen and some who would not. The previous abbot, Father Matthias, seemed to appreciate that about him. This new abbot is perhaps more conservative. Father Matthias was an open-minded man from all I've heard, a true scholar. Father Gonneau doesn't share Matthias's passion for the written word, yet endures the expense of it. To be put in such a position would make any man unhappy, I understand. I wonder what he will make of Lorenz's gift to the Abbey. I will wait for her to continue. He had found a book about the history of Tassing. He believed it contained some scandalous details. He said it corroborated fears Father Matthias had expressed, but he didn't share the particulars with me. Yeah, I think that book was stolen, though. It was stolen from his things, his servant told me in the previous episode. Do you have a sense of what the scandals involved? Was the appearance of the book peculiar or noteworthy in any way? Did you know Father Matthias yourself? I'm going to go with my Craftsman background here, because maybe it's possible to find the book if I know what it looks like. It was neither large nor small, bound in blue leather. Unfortunately, I never examined it closely. My apologies. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. I have some education, but I lack my husband's thirst for knowledge. If you find the book, hopefully its significance will be apparent. If God wills it, nod solemnly. I will nod solemnly. Do you plan to stay in Tassing long? Will you be returning home to Worms soon? That's kind of the same question, isn't it? I'll say, or will you be returning home soon? Perhaps in a few days. I wait on the arrival of the Archdeacon. When his investigation is complete, I will go. Though the circumstances of my time here are dire, I am in no hurry to return. I'll wait for her to continue. You are a disarming man, Master Mailer, and much too easy to talk to. To be frank, I do not know what will become of me when I return to Worms. My title and residence may be in jeopardy. Lorenz and I have a son, but he is young yet. I don't know many of the legalities, only that my position is at some risk. You are in a difficult position, my lady. I will pray for your happiness. I suspect you'll survive just fine. I will say that I will pray for her happiness. As will I, Master Mailer. I am sorry to cut our conversation short, but I fear I must rest. Thank you for having me at your table. Of course, you've had a long day. I will thank her for having me at her table. Be well, Master Mailer. And whatever anyone says of my husband, I'm certain he appreciated your friendship. I should get some sleep. Well, but I want to talk to people and investigate stuff. I've got all these different leads I can follow. When am I supposed to do that? Ooh, there's fireflies. Look it. They seem to be coming from this direction. The carving of Saint Satya looks quite old. It actually looks like Diana to me, the moon goddess, the Roman moon goddess. Because it's got like a moon behind her and she's got a bow and there's a stag. I'm pretty sure that's Diana, not Saint Satya. Just gonna say. There's been some indication in this story before about how some of the pagan Roman stories have gotten turned into Christian stories. Alright, are we going to be able to talk to the widow? Well, the Franz Bauer house is closed off. What's this? These figures look like they were carved by someone without formal training. Oh, look at all the wood carvings. Attilia's home. Yeah, I can't go in there. It's locked off. Dang it. I guess I'll go to bed. Oh, what's this? Johann's family keeps beehives for the honey and wax. Okay. Well, I hope I get a chance to talk to more people. This is kind of weird how it's like, oh, there's all these things you can investigate, but you can't investigate any of them. Maybe I should have done the investigations before I had lunch with the wife of Lorenz, but I didn't know that that was going to be the end of the day. Alright, I'll go to bed. And hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to people tomorrow. I think I've got another day before the Archdeacon shows up, and I can't go to work in the scriptorium because I've been thrown out of the monastery. Oh, am I getting woken up in the middle of the night? Hello? Ursula? Stare at this child. I'll say good morning. Oh, it's not morning. It's the middle of the night, Ursula. What are you doing up here? How did you get out of your bed? Well, she just climbed out. Kids do that. What are you doing up here? Stop. What? I see. Haha. Would you like me to tell you a story? Would that help you sleep? Have you heard the story of the cat and the cradle? Let me tell you the story of the little girl who haunted the sleepy artist. Now I'll tell her the story of the cat and the cradle. I guess depending on which background I chose, there would be different stories to tell. This will be remembered. Far up north in Flanders, where Lenhart's mill came from, there's a town by the sea. 100 years ago, there was a great flood there on the feast of St. Elizabeth. You know how mad your dad gets when the water comes through your farm? Well, it was like that, but much worse. If your dad saw St. Elizabeth's flood, he'd probably lose all of his hair on the spot. The waters rose so high that everyone had to leave the town. Many families lost their homes. When the floodwaters went down, the townsfolk went to look for survivors. Would you believe that they saw a baby's cradle floating in the water? I know, it strains credulity, but it's about to get even stranger. There was a cat on the cradle. It was jumping back and forth to keep the waves from getting in. The townsfolk couldn't believe it, so they slowly rowed their way out to the cradle. And when they looked inside, what did they see but a tiny baby, warm and dry? Goof. Anyway, that's why they named the town Kinder... something in Dutch I probably can't pronounce. Okay. Makes more sense if you know Dutch. Yeah. Man, I slept right through mountains and lodges, huh? Alright, time to get back to work. I've looked at these before. I've got a bunch of junk I should clean up, but somehow I can't. Hello, Ursula. She can't really say my name. Hello, Eva. Hello, Andreas. I hope the day is treating you well. Well enough, though there is too much to do and not enough hours to do it all. The storm made such a mess of the town, and there's the leaks in the roof at home, and there's all that wool. Lord. What's this about wool? The ewes are near to lambing, so we sheared them last week. I must have spent ages washing all that wool. Have you ever smelled wet, dirty wool, Andreas? Ugh, there's nothing worse. Now that it's clean, we've got to spin it, and that takes an age all its own. Lord, I don't know where I'll find the time. Won't Clara help you? Surely you won't be doing it all yourself. Do you need an extra hand? I'm always keen to learn a new craft. Do I have time for this, though? I've got so many other people I want to talk to. All right. We may, but I'm afraid the permission isn't mine to give. Clara, Hetty, Veronica, Kat, even little Ursula will be there, though she makes mischief more than she helps. At least the work goes quickly with the women working together. Lively conversation helps pass the time. Sometimes we even get visitors. Could I be a visitor? What kind of visitors? Could I be a visitor? You're welcome to come. I'm sure the others would be glad of your company, too. Johann Bauer will be there to keep an eye on us. As long as you stay outside, I can't see what harm your visiting would cause. I'd like to try my hand at spinning. Count me in. I'll consider it. I'd like to try my hand at spinning. Sure. Nothing would make Hetty happier. She's quite the taskmaster. We meet at Johann Bauer's house. Come by in the morning or afternoon and speak to Johann. I should get back to work. It was a pleasure running into you, Andreas. Be well, Eva. And what about Clara? Hello, Clara. Can you spare a moment to chat? Of course, Andreas. How can I help? I was wondering if I could help with your tax troubles. You said you were behind on taxes to the Abbey. Exactly how much are you short? That's kind of prying into her business, though. I mean, I suppose she sort of made it my business when she asked me to help her pay the rent early, but I was wondering if I could help with your tax troubles. I guess I'll say that. Oh, Andreas, you're our guest and tenant. Besides, it's far too much for one person to pay alone. How much is it? 2 guldens. If you can't pay your rent early, that's all right. I'm sure we can find some way to pay the abbot. I'm happy to contribute whatever I can. I know times are hard for you right now. No, I'll have my payment for you. I was merely curious. I'll say I'm happy to contribute what I can. You have a good heart, Andreas, but I'm afraid I can't accept. Peter's too proud of a man to ask for charity while there is still ground to till. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked you about rent in the first place. You're young and have your own life ahead. I mean, I want to help pay early, but I don't know if I can because I haven't gotten any money. God bless you, Andreas. Don't mention this to Peter, all right? He would hate to know I told you about our troubles. He won't know a thing. Thank you, Andreas. All right. I guess I can still help them with their taxes somehow. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that. I went and talked to people at the Abbey, and they were not very helpful. All right, let's go to the town commons and see if we can find Lucky the stonemason. How do I get north of the town commons? Central town? Alright, let's talk to Lucky. He was mad at the Baron and was threatening him with his hammer. Oh, that hammer would be a possible murder weapon. Hello, Andreas. Something you need? How are you doing, Lucky? We don't talk much. I can see you're busy, so I'll keep it brief. I'll say that. I'd hope to ask you a few questions about Baron Rothvogel. No. No, but it will only take a moment. Why not? I don't want to. You're a grown man. That should be reason enough for you. I saw you shouting at the Baron when he arrived in Tassing. What was that about? Get it through your pebble-stuffed head. I'm not talking about Rothvogel. I don't understand why you're being so reticent. All right, I won't press you. Maybe it was his daughter who got pregnant from the Baron and died. Maybe I'll find out more about it from other people in the village, but I'm going to say I don't understand why you're being so reticent. I'm trying to work and you're distracting me. Leave me in peace. He was not being forthright with me, and he seems eager to get away. If I wait here, maybe he'll leave and I can observe his actions. But should I do it now? It will probably take a while. I'll follow Lucky now. I'll observe Lucky later. I'll observe Lucky later. Let's go talk to the widow. What's over here? Oh, the town commons. Okay. Yeah, let's go talk to the widow. France Bauer and Widow Kemperand. Oh, hello, Cat. Hello, Master Mailer. I'm sorry to cause you trouble, but have you seen Martin recently? He wasn't feeling well, so I let him sleep until prime. But when I came to check on him, he was gone. I saw him Thursday morning, lie and say I haven't seen him. I did see Martin running through the meadow, but this is a delicate situation and I'm not sure how I should handle it. I didn't get a chance to speak with him and I don't know what he was up to. The boy is clearly trouble. The people in town do not think well of him. Well, I didn't know what he was up to, I'll say that. Or I'll think that. It could be entirely innocent, but if I tell Kat that I saw him fleeing the Abbey, she might think her son killed Lorenz. She might think that I think her son killed Lorenz. Yeah. That would cause her undue stress. I don't want to get embroiled in their problems. Yeah, that's for sure. It probably wasn't even Martin who did it. Even if it was Martin who killed Lorenz, I don't know where he's gone now anyway. I mean, that would be the easy answer, because some of Lorenz's stuff was stolen. But that doesn't mean the person who did the thieving was also the murderer. I think murder is a more personal crime. I could see Martin being the one who stole Lorenz's stuff, but I don't think he would have any reason to go into the monastery and kill Lorenz. So I'm going to say this one. He doesn't strike me as the murdering type. Still, Cat deserves my honesty. Damn it, I wish I'd never seen him. He doesn't strike me as the murdering type. Still, Cat deserves honesty. Yeah, she deserves honesty. I saw him Thursday morning. He ran through the meadow while I was on my way to the Abbey at Prime. But he said he was sick. And what was he doing in the meadow? He hardly ever goes out there. It always makes him sneeze. He seemed to be running from the Abbey. Why do you ask? He has a history of making poor decisions. Like stealing? Baron Rothvogel's manservant believes Martin may have stolen some of the Lord's rings. Lord have mercy. That must be where he's gone, to sell them. Oh, Martin, how could you? Do you know where he's likely to have gone? Is it possible he could have killed the Baron? I'm gonna just ask where he's gone. The last time he ran off, it was to Innsbruck. But I don't know. He could be anywhere. What if he is attacked on the road? I'm going to say nothing. I'm not sure he's going to be all right. I'm not going to try to console her. She's got a shitty son who more than once has told me to eat shit, so... I'm sorry, this is not your trouble. Thank you for speaking to me. Was there something else? I don't want to impose, but if it wouldn't be too much trouble, please let me know if you see Martin. I'm so worried for him. Of course, Cat. Thank you, Master Mailer. Be well. Brigitta, or Brigitta? I would wish you a good day, Andreas, but I fear that would be a lie. Has something happened? Martin's gone missing. Kat is beside herself. I saw him fleeing the Abbey Thursday morning right after Baron Rothvogel was murdered. But not you? You're not beside yourself? I'm sorry to hear it. Do you know where he's gone? You're not beside yourself? I'm very worried for him, but this is not the first time he's run off. Is this his wife? They said he had a wife and child. He said he wasn't feeling well this morning, and I just knew he had another scheme planned. I'm sure his mother knows where he is. He speaks more to her than he does to me. Even though I'm his wife, yeah. I'm sorry, they've always been close. They've had to be to endure. Well, perhaps I should speak to Kat. I just spoke to her. Maybe Franz could tell me more. I don't, well, do what you feel you must. Franz is a difficult man and very hard on Martin. It's made him difficult too. So difficult that he could commit a murder? No, there is a storm cloud over Martin, but it rains only on him. He would never hurt someone. I can't imagine it. What are you talking about? It's nothing. An idle question. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Oh, I'm going to be forced to lie to her? I don't like lying, but okay. I should probably get back to my chores. Franz will be angry if he sees me shirking. Or talking to an unmarried man. Of course, God willing, Martin will come home soon. Until later then. I'll say God willing. He will. I must trust in Providence. Be well, Andreas. Be well, Brigitte. Hey, Franz. What's up? Hey, Mailer. You seen my son? He doesn't even call me Master Mailer. He just calls me Mailer. I saw him running from the Abbey Thursday morning, actually. That fucking rat. That layabout was asleep when I went into the fields. He told his mother he was sick. He say anything to you? Like where he was going? He told me to eat shit. God damn it. How many times have I told him? Grr. How many times? Should it be times? Must be his mother's influence. He sure as shit didn't learn that behavior from me. Are you sure about that? If you see him again, will you tell Kat? She's driving me crazy about it. I'll let Kat know if I run into him. Good. Until later, Mailer. Let's go down here and see if we can talk to the widow. Right, she's the one with all the little carved animals around her house. Let's just take a look around here. This must be Ranig's cane. It's strong, sturdy, and here the head has broken off. The break looks recent. Could Attila have used this cane to kill Lorenz? Attila, your husband's cane is broken. Do you remember how that happened? How should I know? Everything in here is broken and falling apart. The head broke off at some point. I don't remember how. Alright, remain silent. Ah. Alright, so the stonemason could have hit Rothvogel in the head with his stonemason's hammer. Or the widow could have hit him with her husband's cane. The widow's motive I know because she blames Rothvogel for her husband's death. Or, you know, Rothvogel is responsible for her husband's death. But the stonemason's motive, I don't know. I'm assuming his motive is that maybe he had a daughter who the Baron got pregnant, but I don't know that yet. Well, if it isn't the late Baron's new best friend. Morning, I'm glad to find you in such a good mood. Nice to see you, Attilia. I'm going to say that. Ha, sarcasm. How original. What do you want? You must be bothering me for something. I wanted to ask you some questions about Lorenz Rothvogel's murder. We've never really talked. I thought it time we get acquainted. Yeah, okay. You don't need to try to butter her up. Just be straightforward. Not the first time Perkta answered my call. You want to know what I think? I'm glad he's dead. I hope whoever killed him gets the abbot next. Maybe burns that entire abbey to the ground. And that's all I have to say about that. What did the Baron do to earn your ire? Has the abbot crossed you somehow? The life of an innocent man is at stake. One of the elderly brothers. Can't you spare me a few minutes? Yeah, I'll tell her that I'm just trying to help Brother Piero. He's a good guy. You think I care about what happens to some old monk? Pah, idiot. Kill them all, see if I care. Every agent of the church should die. Oh, wow. That's burning at the stake talk there, Attilia. Where is this anger coming from? Is it something I can help with? You shouldn't talk about the church like that. You could bring inquisitors down on Tassing. Yeah. Yeah, but where's the anger coming from? No. Well, maybe. Don't suppose those skinny arms of yours can hold more than a paintbrush? I'm not as strong as Otto, but I can lift things and reach high places if that's what you need. Hold on, are you asking me to do your chores? No, I'll just say I'm not as strong as Otto. Not often someone offers to help out old Attilia. Fine, you do some things for me, maybe it'll jog my memory. But it's gonna take a while. Lots of things been building up, things I'm too old to do. You got some places to be? Well, I do actually, but I have no other plans. I'm all yours for the morning. I do, but I'll be back later to help. I'm supposed to be following the stonemason, and I'm supposed to be going to that yarn club. But sure, I'll help her out. Follow me then. Been needing to collect some firewood, but I haven't been able to muster the energy. Let's gather you some sticks. Do you often have a difficult time? Alright, let's gather some sticks. No questions. Good. Alright, I think that's all the sticks. There are the trees Otto's been felling for the abbot. Break off that branch there, the big one. If you insist. That's technically poaching, Attilia. It's wrong. These trees belong to the abbot. I can't risk being caught stealing from him. Excellent. The forest belongs to us all, of God's creatures, not just the church. I know Attilia feels she's been wronged by the abbey, but the wood does still belong to the abbot. If we're caught stealing it, my investigation into Lorenz's murder could be in jeopardy. If the abbot finds out I helped Attilia steal from him, he could make finishing my masterpiece difficult. Yeah, if we're caught stealing, the investigation could be in jeopardy. But if I refuse to help, she might not tell me what happened between her and Lorenz. The way she yelled at him the day he arrived, it must have been serious, but serious enough to kill him? Perhaps I can make her see reason. These trees belong to the abbot. I can't risk being caught stealing from him. Yeah, I'll say that. This is our forest. The people of Tassing were here before the abbey was. This forest is ours. Just because some piece of paper somewhere says this land belongs to the church, we can't use it? The people who care for it? Fuck the church. Fuck the abbey. This land is ours, and damn them all to hell. I'm not about to get in trouble with the abbot just so you can have your petty revenge. I don't think it's petty. I mean, she's right. The abbey is kind of screwing the people over. But okay. I need his cooperation to find out who killed Baron Rothvogel. He allows me to use the scriptorium to work on my masterpiece. I'm not about to put my life's work in jeopardy for you. Alright, I need his cooperation to find out who killed Baron Rothvogel. That's what I'm going to say. Pa, you don't need to remind me that you care more for the church than you've ever spared a thought for its discontents. What? You don't need to remind me that you care more for the church than you've ever spared a thought for its discontents. Man, I keep finding a lot of typos in this game. But we're not yet through with our chores, so I'll say no more. can't use all of these sticks. They're too big. You need to break them down for me. Sure, break the sticks. Got it. I need the right side at a certain length, so break them and forget the leftover scrap. What? Where should I break them? How long do you need them to be, woman? I'll just say, where should I break them? I'll know it when I see it. Now get snapping, boy. Break sticks. Using the left and right trigger buttons. More than that, Andreas Mailer. Bigger. That one should do nicely. This one is too small and frail, just like you, Mailer. I suppose that one is fine. This one is too small and frail, just like you. Okay. More than that, Andreas. Bigger. This one's too big. I don't need a club, you buffoon. That one should do nicely. That one should do nicely. I might be able to use some of these. Now come help me back at the house. Are you sure this will be enough wood? What if there's a cold snap? More chores? Ugh, of course, lead on. I'm not going to question her judgment. If she says that's enough, it's enough. Let's go. I have some mementos from Ranig here. They've gone crooked, and I can't reach. Could you hang them for me, Andreas? Sure. And please, be careful with my pictures. Some are very fragile. I would hate to lose them to your carelessness. I'm using the left joystick to rotate it. Think you could hang those papers on the table? I can't reach. There you go, that looks all right. Thank you for hanging those. Just one thing. Remove the cross. Are you sure about that? What? No, I won't. Are you sure? Don't you gainsay me, boy. Alright, I guess if you're sure. What do you plan to do with the cross? That's sacrilege, I won't do it. What Attila is asking of me is sacrilegious. Is it, though? You can't just take down and put up crosses willy-nilly? She could be forced to face a church inquisitor if someone found out. I might as well, simply for aiding her. There should be a comma. That's kind of an awkward sentence. I might as well, comma, simply for aiding her. Or I might, comma, as well, comma, simply for aiding. Yeah, anyway. It's a worn old cross, and it graced the home she shared with her husband. If I destroy it, she might regret it later. Yeah, I'll say that. Whatever she says, I don't believe it's the cross that's her problem. There is something more that I've yet to uncover. Taking the cross down might only cause her more pain in the long run. But if I anger her, I might miss out on information about Lorenz's death. Perhaps I could convince her to put it somewhere out of sight so it won't torment her. That might be enough. What do you plan to do with the cross? Destroy it, of course. The church never did anything for me and took nearly all I had. Why should I be made to venerate it? What did the church take from you? What does it matter to you? Just take the thing down like I asked. Perhaps I could just move the cross to where you can't see it. I understand that you're angry and hurting now, but you might regret destroying it later. It's such a nice cross made from nice wood. Oh, I'm not going to be able to persuade her because I refuse to poach Abbey wood for her. I don't give a shit what it's made from. Ha, if you won't remove the cross, then you're useless to me. Ah, jeez. Come on, lady. Oh. I'm assuming she didn't mean for me to hang this note. What note? Remember your husband, the pain he carried like Job, the red bird flies, Mitten's chapter. What? So she got a note too? someone was luring her to the chapter house as well at the same time. Oh, like kind of goading her into committing the murder, maybe? Because they lured the Baron, and then they lured her there. Where did this note come from, Attilia? No idea. I found it on the table the night before Rothvogel died. I could barely read it. The writing's too fancy. Keep it if you want. It means nothing to me. Well, if she can barely read it, then she's probably not the one who went there to kill him. I've got one last thing for you to do, if you're willing. A legal document. I need you to read it. The words are too small for my old eyes, and my reading's not so good. I'm not an expert in Bavarian law, but I'll do my best. Huh, good enough for me. Alright, so where's the note? Is it this one? Oh, okay. That was the same spot where the other note was sitting, so I got confused. Let's see. Standard introduction, this document shows, etc., etc. This is Guy's hand. He made it quite difficult to read. What a surprise. Here we are, the meat of the document. It says, oh, due to the recent death of Rane Kemper, his lack of heirs to inherit, and your inability to pay fees on the land, your property is forfeit to the church. I'm sorry, Attilia. Say nothing. Yeah, being sorry ain't gonna help her. This is why she hates the church so much. I'm gonna say nothing. Ah! That devil, that monster. This is all the fault of Lorenz Rothvogel. If he were alive, I'd kill him myself. May he boil in hell for all eternity. Your hatred of the church. Did you know this would happen? I think it's time you tell me what happened with the Baron. Yeah, tell me. Rannig, my husband, he caught that Rothvogel devil riding through our property and told him rightly to leave. The Baron beat my Rannig for it, beat him so savagely that he took a cane to walk. Even his breathing pained him, never could breathe deep so long as he lived, which wasn't long at all. That doesn't sound like the Lorenz I know. Oh, come on. Yeah, it does, though. You know Lorenz is wild and arrogant. I'll say good God. That Baron was the worst kind of man, careless and cruel. He knew he could beat my Rannig and suffer no consequences, so he did. We were not even so low as animals to him. We were furniture. And I knew after Rannig died, the church would try to take what little I had left. This document only confirms it. All because of Lorenz Rothvogel. You know, that's a pretty compelling reason for you to have killed him. I'll say nothing. I really don't think she did it. I really don't. Because it doesn't seem like she knew what that letter said that was luring her to the chapter house. And if she didn't know what the letter said, then she wouldn't have been the one that was there. I'm going to say nothing. Since Rannig left, I'm just waiting to die. Why should I have to go on living when he is gone? He has not even been dead a year. I hoped I would follow him before the church came for what was left of our life. Inheritance laws are cruel to the widowed and the childless. They are. They really are. They were. And they were for centuries. Do you know where you'll go? Yeah, I'm more interested in what's going to happen to her. I mean, I'm not going to state the obvious. Do you know where you'll go? A grave, probably. Rannig and I had no children, not even a daughter. Who else would have me? You know, that's pretty compelling reasons for you to have killed him. Oh, so I have to say it? I wasn't going to say it, but I guess I have to. You said yourself you'd do it if you could. Who's to say you haven't already? Finally, some honesty from you. This was the real purpose of your visit all along. I'm an old woman, Andreas. Even walking from my bed to the door pains me. How could I kill a man in his prime? Well, if you snuck up on him and whacked him over the head while he was praying in the church, maybe you could get away with it. But yeah, she'd have to go all the way up the hill to the Abbey, and that seems unlikely as Brother Piero doing it. Not that it matters. I'm sure I'll take the blame for it anyway, just like I'm blamed for every runny nose and thrown horseshoe around here. The people in town can't wait for me to die, and the Abbey vultures hate me for my contempt of them. None of it matters. I don't care what happens to me anymore. Thank you for your help, boy. You're the only one who's come calling since my Rannig passed, you know? Now get out. I need to lie down. Of course I was glad to help. For all the good it did me, you old witch. Oh, don't be mean. Alright, well, I don't know. I don't think that she actually did it. I think that she would have had a hard time walking all the way up the hill to the Abbey, let alone getting inside and sneaking up on the Baron and whacking him over the head. But we don't know how the cane was broken. Maybe I'll find the head of the cane somewhere and figure out more about that. But for now, I am going to stop there and say thanks so much for hanging out with me. Next time I play, I'm going to try to get to that spinning bee that I was invited to do the yarn spinning, and see if I can get more information from the gossip of the town about what was going on with the Baron and who the innocent girl may have been. If you're enjoying these episodes of Pentiment, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about the channel, and leave a comment. All of those things help the YouTube channel. And if you'd like to go a step further, you can also do a YouTube super thanks, which is a one-time sort of tip to the channel, or you can do the channel memberships. I'm not doing Patreon anymore, but I have the YouTube channel memberships set up with the same tiers and the same rewards as I had over on Patreon. Thank you so much, and I hope you join me for the next episode of Pentiment. Take care of yourselves until next time. Bye!